Hello everyone and welcome to the Cherry Heart podcast. This is episode 105. Yes, I think that's right. I'm Sandra and this is a crafty cast featuring crochet and knitting, sewing and any other bits and bobs I may get up to. You can find the show notes for this podcast on my blog, which is cherryheart.co.uk, and you can also navigate this video using the timestamps either in the show notes or in the drop down box below, and there's also notches on the video if you hover your mouse over the bottom bar. You can also find me on Instagram as Sandra Cherry HRT, and I'm elsewhere around the web as Cherry Heart. It's very sunny today, isn't it? I'm quite bright on this side. We've had horrible kind of weather here. Well, rainy and a bit miserable, but we've needed it, so it's been fine. But it's quite nice and bright today. So I've drawn my little curtain across, but it is quite lacy and ineffectual. So I'm kind of bright from this side, but so lovely. I haven't got that many things to talk about today. I haven't got many whips on the go, but we'll see how it goes. The first thing, however, I do have to talk about, I'm wearing. It's my Florence Tee. Let me stand up and give you a quick show. So here it is. Yeah, I've got quite a nice loose fit without it being too boxy, and a bit tighter on the arm. Not sure there is much else to say. So it's made up of these square motifs. So they're actually quite simple to do, but then the whole garment is constructed using join as you go. So I think this is a pattern, by the way. I've actually released this as a pattern. Yeah, so I called it my Florence Tee, and it's my first sort of proper garment pattern. So I did make a garment before and that I made for myself, and I literally just wrote that up, but it hasn't got any sizes or anything, so that sort of doesn't really count to my mind. But this has got a proper garment pattern with actual sizing and so on. So that's why I'm telling you about how to make it. So yes, so the motif itself is quite simple, but then I think if you wanted to make this, just a bit of experience with join as you go, because all the motifs are joined as you go, and then it's also constructed with join as you go, so you actually sort of work in the round, sort of under the arm. Once you get to the underarm bits, you're working to join it in a round completely as you go along. So that's the only sort of tricky part about the pattern, I think. I think you could probably sew the motifs together if you weren't confident as join as you go, but I think you'd get quite a different look, because where they join just in certain places you get a sort of lattice effect, which I quite liked. So you would kind of lose that because you'd get the edges quite close together, wouldn't you? But it could still work. So yeah, so it's all made up of these squares, and then I've just got a little simple edging on the neck and the sleeve, and then a little bit thicker on the bottom there. So this one I'm wearing today is quite a nice day for it, actually. I made in Drops Merino, Drops Baby Merino actually, just because I made this quite a while ago. I had some in stash and I kind of wanted to try out the idea. So this works quite well for it, I think. It's quite nice. But in the pattern I've actually used Stylecraft Naturals, the Bambino and cotton version. Just because I think that's sort of a bit more appropriate for kind of a lightweight summery top that I want this to be, because even it's very open and lacy, so it's not like a hot top, but even sort of having the merino woolliness of this can make it surprisingly warm for a, you know, a warm day. It can get warm quite quickly. So I think I'll show you the other one. So this is the one I made in the Stylecraft Naturals. The what's it called? I keep wanting to say Bambino. No, that's not right. Bamboo, that's it. Bamboo and cotton version. So there's two versions of the Naturals now, isn't there? There's a bamboo and cotton and there's just an organic cotton. Yeah, so this is in the bamboo and cotton version. And this was one I made for my daughter. So I'm wearing the size 3 and this is the size 2. So there's 5 sizes in the pattern, and I think the size 1 might be kind of appropriate for a sort of child, kind of you know, like teenager. So my daughter's 15 and this fits her quite nicely. And then I've got size 4 and 5 as well, so it goes up to quite a reasonable, you know, there's quite a good range there, even though there's only 5 sizes, just because you're sort of dealing with squares, so the size sort of increases by quite a jump each time. So hopefully it will cover a decent range of sizes for people. Yeah, so I'll pop up a little picture of her wearing hers in a minute so you can see, but yeah, I really like the way it comes out in this. It's quite, it's got a nice drape to it, so it sort of hangs quite nicely and falls quite nicely. So I think that, yeah, I just think that's quite a good choice for a sort of a top like this, a summery top like this. So I made mine in white, obviously. Again, this was what I had in stash, and she didn't seem to sort of really mind what colour it was, so I went with a grey one. But I think some of my testers have made some ones in some other lovely colours as well, so it's quite nice to sort of see more colourful versions coming through. So I'll pop that back. Yeah, so I uploaded the pattern a little bit earlier in the week and it seems to be going okay. So there's a bit of a trepidation with the old first garment pattern with the sizing. I've been procrastinating a bit on it, I suppose, but yeah, now that I've gone through the process, you know, of editing and testing and so on, I'm feeling much better about it. I had some good testers, so we made some good changes, so yeah, feeling like it's a much more solid piece of work now. So yeah, that's good. So it's on 3 choices of platform you can buy it from: Ravelry, Lovecrafts or Etsy, so you can choose whichever one you prefer from those. And yeah, just tag me in if you you know, have a go at making it. I can't wait to sort of see them pop up. Like I say, the testers kind of made some in different colours, so that was nice to see. But if you just hashtag it with either Cherry Heart Designs or Florence Tee, T-E-E-E, yeah, I'd like to see them. So that would be good. So that felt like a bit of a mammoth moment this week. But that's my finished item really to show you, even though it was finished a little while ago. I'll show you this quickly. Oh, actually this is kind of a finished-ish item. So I'm making some hexagon blocks using the Alice Caroline flower quilt block thingy. It was a subscription club, a flower quilt subscription club, and you get sort of so many blocks per month to make. So this is March's blocks that I've finally almost finished. So this is one of them. This one's my favourite of these, I think. Really pretty with those pinks and things. Then I've also finished this one. That one's a bit different, it's got some black in there. With that one, and then I've almost, I'm counting this as a finished object because it's almost finished. And then there's this blue one. So I've just got to put my little white triangles in. Let's simulate it being done for you. I was hoping to finish it last night and I made good progress, but I couldn't quite get to the end. There you go, that's what it'll look like when it's done, with just the triangles be filled in white. So that's the three ones for April. So once I've finally got those little triangles in, I can actually start on my, no, March, sorry, those are the March ones. So once I've got those in, I can start on my April box. And we're now in May, and I think in another week or so I'll get the May box. So I'm falling hopelessly behind now, but never mind. I didn't realise there was quite so many blocks per month, so I didn't realise quite how much work was in it, but that's okay, that's okay. Yes, but I enjoy doing it though, is the point. It's quite sort of relaxing, as long as I don't do too much in one go. Desperately looking around, there's so little to talk about today really. Let's talk about this one. It's inside out. I'm going to turn it around to show you. So this is another garment in actual fact, and it's changed a bit since you last saw it, because last time you saw it, it was just a rectangle, and now it actually resembles some sort of wearable item. Let's put that in. So here we go. So last time we spoke, it was literally just this sort of front rectangle that I had. And then last week, last podcast, I didn't bother to show you because I'd sort of that started coming out a little bit, like maybe sort of down here to about here. So I wanted to sort of see at what point, how long I needed to make it before I joined it in the round to sort of be the body width. And then I thought once I've sort of established how wide I need it, then I'll sort of work out how far up I need to come and do the sleeves and that, which is a kind of a backwards way to approach it, I think, really. But I'd sort of started just making a random piece of fabric out of, you know, using these little circles and squares. And so once I'd got a rectangle, I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I haven't really approached this in the most sensible way maybe, but never mind. So yeah, I'm getting closer to a finish now. I've started trying to put a bit of a neckline on now. I tried one and it was very tight, so I've loosened it up a bit. This is my second version, and I need to do sort of something to make a bit better edge, I think. But I wanted, you know, I wanted the top to be quite simple. I didn't want to keep it as a cardigan as it is in the film. I just wanted it as more of a simple top. I think mostly because I was holding it up as a rectangle like this to show you, and I thought, oh, that actually looks okay as just a top like that. And then my sleeves, I haven't woven all my ends on my sleeves in yet because I wasn't entirely sure of the length and also the sort of depth of them. So I did have it a little bit longer. I've taken one set of motifs off already, and I need to try it on again now and sort of see how that sleeve is going to look. Same with the other one, I've got the ends of that in. But then once I've decided how that's going to be, yeah, it's just the edging is what I've got to do now, I think. I think the sleeves need a little bit of edging. I think the collar definitely needs a lot of edging, well, not a lot, a bit of edging, because otherwise the motifs kind of pull apart around my neck and kind of gape. So that needs something, but I don't know if I want Do I need anything on the bottom? Maybe I could just leave the bottom hanging like that. What do you think? I had originally imagined it would have some sort of edging on it as well, but maybe it doesn't need it. I'm not sure. I guess once I decide what I'm doing for the neck, and I mean the sleeves don't need it I suppose, but I think it's going to be better because I think what will happen is I think this size is going to be about right, but I think I might just want a tiny little bit of cinching in so it doesn't sort of flap around. It still feels a bit flappy, I think. But yeah, maybe I'll leave just the bottom like that. What do you think? What would you do? I haven't got a pattern or anything for this, and I'm not sure there'll be one, but people have been asking me how I've made these little circles and squares. So basically I make the circles first and then I use the squares to join them all together using join as you go. My plan is to do a little tutorial on that. I haven't had a minute. So that's coming on quite nicely. I did quite a bit of work on this the last bank holiday weekend, and it kind of jumped on from that rectangle with a bit sticking out the side to pretty much completed. So I was very pleased with how, and surprised with how quickly it progressed in the end, really. So there's that one. And then another little thing I want to talk about was this. My Ziggy Interrupted. So some of you might have seen on social media already that Christy Glass and Eve of Knit and Escape are doing a crochet along for my Ziggy Interrupted scarf, which is really exciting. So I think Christy's got some videos, so they've got some videos to sort of accompany the crochet along. So you can go onto the Knit and Escape website and have a look at those. And they're also selling the pattern and yarn, I'm sure, to go with it. I think they had special kits to accompany with it. I don't know if they are still available. But it is sort of a great stash buster. So I used 5 full skeins for mine. So you could do that, just pick 5 solid skeins, well not solid, but you know, 5 lovely favourite skeins from your stash, or you could just go with scraps. And what Christy did was she used advent calendar minis to make hers, and she's got a glorious version with all of these different colours, and yeah, it's really lovely. It's one of those ones where you watch it and you're like, why didn't I think of that? That's a great way to use the advent minis. So it kind of makes me want to make another one, which I may do at some point. Maybe closer to Christmas. Maybe that could be an advent calendar project I do then. But yeah, they're having a crochet along for it at the moment. So if you were interested in making one, yeah, now might be a good time to sort of pop along and get the video help. And yeah, join in with everyone else that's making theirs. But it's really, I'll put the hashtag down here or up here, but it's really nice to sort of see the different colour combinations coming through. There's some really fantastic combos coming through, and sort of because you've got the stripes and this kind of motif section, you kind of get, it's just really good for colour play because you can kind of mix and match the colours down here and sort of have a bit of fun making this more intricate bit. But then you can kind of zoom through the stripe bit and see sort of quite a nice bit of growth and progress. So it's quite a nice mixture. So yeah, so I thought I'd mention that because I've really enjoyed watching the tag for that and seeing the new Ziggies coming through. So that's rather fun. What else do I have to say? There's some behind the scenes stuff going on at the moment that I can't really share, which is annoying because I haven't got much to show you and I can't really talk about things yet. I am hoping to do something with the Spice of Life blankets soon. They're And lastly, the Spice of Life pattern, which was the original crochet along I did with Black Sheep Wools back in 2015. And we're hoping that we'll be able to launch a new colour pack for that. The original colours I used back then, the yarn for that has now been discontinued, but we wanted to launch a new pack so that you could follow the original pattern if you wanted to. Yeah, so we're just waiting on supplies for that to come in before I can talk a little bit more about that. But I have actually got the pattern. I've been meaning to revamp it for a while, but I have actually got that done. So there'll be two versions of the pattern now. There'll be the free version that you'll be able to download still, but there'll also be a paid for version. So that will have all the help from all the original blog posts and everything all in one place for you, and the photo tutorials. And I've also put in a few, come up with a few little bonus extras that I can put in there for you to make that a little bit more useful. So hopefully that will be good, and so hopefully in a little while we can get those yarn packs available. And then I thought it might be quite a fun idea to have a little revival crochet along for that. I quite fancy making the blanket again in the new pack colours. So yeah, but we'll talk about that a little bit more nearer the time. Well, I think we may be ending up short and sweet this week, but I think that's all that I have to say today. Hopefully I'll be back before too long, and I hope you get some lovely crafty moments in the meantime. Until then, bye!